Seems legit.
Hey Legitimates, you asked and I am delivering. I am showing you how to make these very cute little candy cane holders and how I set them up in my computer first. So I don't make them one at a time. That would be a hellish nightmare. I can fit 7 on an 8x12 hoop. You do need to leave a bit of a gap, and that's otherwise you could probably get a few more. But if you want to see how I've set these up, let's go. Right, this program is called So What Pro. I purchased it for like $85, I think. It's just pretty basic, but it's still good. So you need to go in. We're actually going to set up the girl, but you've obviously seen me do the boy. It's the same thing. So first you're going to open your file. Now, I'm going to get rid of the little hands and feet because I don't want them, but obviously you can just continue on like this if you wish. So I'm going to go to the cut function, and then you just have to draw around things you want to separate. It's got a little jump stitch there. You just go straight over it. It'll be fine. It won't stitch it. It'll disappear. Then we go to cut pattern, and I'm going to remove interior. The other option is remove exterior, or you can just separate them. And then make sure you unclick cut. And then we're going to go to the bigger hoop size. I clearly can't remember where that is. It's in the home section. So I'm going to go to the hoop that I'm going to use, which is 200 by 300 or an 8x12. So just scroll down till you find your biggest hoop and set it up and hit click OK. I'm going to drag it up into the corner. Now you've got 2 ways of rotating it. You can also see over here that you don't want the same color twice. So I'm just changing them to random weird colors so that you can see that they will in fact be different. And you just want to go through all the colors, and then this is also highlighting which color we're doing next. So if you wanted to change the color, you can manually change it here, or you can just put whatever color you want into the machine. That tends to be what I do. But you can see all the different areas it's going to stitch. So there is still 2 espresso colors. So I need to change that one to just another random color. So when I join everything together, it won't mess up the actual pattern. You just pick any color. I picked a gingerbread color, but all close enough too. So now all the colors are slightly different. They're called different things. So you can either drag that little green dot to rotate it sideways. I just zoomed out a little bit there. Or there is actually a rotate button in the pattern section. So you can grab the green button and rotate it around. And if you have a look at the screen, it does tell you how many degrees you've done. Or you can just click the rotate button there. Whatever suits you. Depends on if you want them on an angle or something. And then I'm just going to line it up there. Hit Control C and Control V. And it always pastes it on top, which is kind of annoying, but you got to do what you got to do. Now, because these have got skirts, I am going to zigzag them so I can get them a little bit closer. I just think it's going to help. And then we're going to copy and paste. And I'm just going to copy and paste each shape because I'm finding that easier to do. And then we should be able to get one more. I say should because, you know, sometimes we don't. And then I'm going to put 2 vertical ones over here. So we're going to rotate it. No, I don't want it upside down. Flip it so it's the right way up. Then I'm going to copy and paste that one. Get it fairly close. And then I'm going to select all of them and drag them into the middle of the hoop so that the 8x12 sheets of felt that I have cut is good to go. I did see if I could fit a 3rd one in there, but I can't. As you can see, they overlap, so that's no good. So I'm going to drag them a bit closer just so that they're away from the edge. And then I'm going to select all. I knew I did it eventually. And then I'm just going to drag it so it's more in the middle and not right on an edge, like that. Then I'm going to hit Control J, and that's going to bring up this. And we want to select all of the same colored ones because we made sure they were all different. And now it will do all of the outlines of all the individual ones so that I don't have 50 different color changes. I've only got, I think it's 10 or 9 or 10. 9. So there we go. Then I'm going to go and save as. I don't want to override my original, so I'm going to save as. And I always just put what size hoop I've made it to on the edge so that I know what I'm looking for. Right, this is my 8x12 hoop, and I've cut a piece of tearaway stabilizer. I only use tearaway stabilizer. I know that's controversial to a lot of people, and you don't have to copy me. I'm not here to tell you that you have to. But I like it. I think it works well for me. But you can use a cutaway if you prefer. I'm not the boss of you, but I use tearaway. I just buy a giant roll at a time, and I've had the same roll for multiple years, and it just takes ages. So that is how I've hooped it. Now, because we're using felt, it's not really slippery. So for the top layer, I am just going to fold it in half, and I've cut these the same size as my Tory template, Tory pocket. So if anybody has a Tory pocket, you just trace around that and you get the same size. And we're just going to line that up in the center and then fold it back. And I'm just going to let it sit there. Now, if you're worried, you can put some masking tape, but it's not going to slip, as you can see. Look at me shaking. Oh, okay, slipped that time. But generally speaking, it won't slip. So you can just leave it there as it is. Don't go shaking it and you'll be fine. Let's go to the machine. Alright, I've put a fresh bobbin in just so it doesn't have to stop through this video, but normally I would just use it. Now, because this is a bigger hoop, it will want to move over. I've already threaded the first colour. So the first colour and the last colour are the same. We've just changed the colours on the actual screen so that I could join them all together easily. So off it goes. I've sped this up so it's wickedly faster, or we'd be here all day. I also don't show you all of it. I only give you a couple of colours so that you get the feel of what's going on. We're going to a variegated white-grey combo. I thought this looked really cool for the little zigzag, and it saves my actual white. I have a lot of threads to use up, so this is a good way to do it in little things like this. It's also why I picked like an almost fluoro orange button for one of them. You won't see me stitch that. We're just going to stitch the eyes next. You can go into the program and change the order if that is your desire. I obviously don't bother. I like the order it's in. They tend to know what they're doing when they design these things. And so let's go to the next bit. Alright, so I have stitched everything except the very last colour. So what we need to do is we need to take one of these pieces. Now, as you can see, I'm going to make a lot of these. And I'm going to put double-sided tape right at the edge. It doesn't have to be the whole way. This is just going to help us hold it in place. You can also use masking tape or basting spray, although personally I don't think basting tape works as well on the bottom layer, because we're going to stick this underneath the hoop. So here's the back. Hardest bit's always getting this backing off. Felt can be funny like that. Sometimes it wants to let go and sometimes it really doesn't. This is just cheap acrylic felt. I'm not using nice wool felt because that's just a waste of money for these, in my opinion. And these are a little bit bigger than an A4 sheet. So I'm just now going to, from the center, smooth it out. Just run my finger along the edge and you should be able to pick it up and it stays. So now we can put it back in the machine and do the last layer. So again, I did fast forward this. You can see it's not stitching all of it. It stitches the head and then two sides. That is to leave a gap for the arms for the candy cane to go through, and obviously at the bottom. So they're all done, and you can see that they have stitched mainly on the back, but they've left the gap for your candy canes. So pop it out of the hoop. I like to tear off the excess stabilizer just because it kind of gets in my way. It's another reason why I will like tear away and not cut away. Then take some scissors. Now how I've set them up, I will cut along the bottom like this. Now they're not perfectly lined up and that's fine. You can if you want to, but I'm not so fussed. Then I'm going to get my these are little curved Class A scissors. I really like these. And then you can just cut, I'm leaving like 1/8 of an inch around the edge. You can get as close or as far away as you want. Alright, so we're just going to cut. I obviously won't cut all of these out. You don't need to watch that. Right, so that's it. You can just sell them like that, or you can get some candy canes. And then you create a gap through the side here. And you feed one in one side, and then the other in the other side. Now, before that last step, if you wanted to, you could also add a ribbon so that it hangs from the Christmas tree or wherever, their bag. But then he's a little man. I don't worry about the little end caps of his hands. I find that much quicker to just do it that way. But you can do whatever you like. And the further you push these in, the further out his legs go. So you can have him standing like that, or more together, whatever you want. So there you go, guys. All done. Bye-bye.